harsh as fuck. Ooh, got old lipstick, makeup, everything. Okay, so this is gonna be like the intro to my video because this is raw and uncut. This is the next morning after my dad's funeral, after everything. And I feel like I need to get this shit out because of the simple fact, once I say what I gotta say and y'all hear my perspective on shit, that's it. I no longer fuck with the Moore family at all. Like, after I post this video, I'm unfollowing any cousin, anything. Any cousin that's on that side. Like, I'm dead ass. I'm not playing no motherfucking games. Because they have chosen the side that they want to stand on and condone bullshit. And once you choose a side, there's nothing else for me to do. Like, I don't give a fuck who you are. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And, I must have been sleeping hard as fuck. Sleeping good and drunk. But yeah, like I said, once you choose a side, there's nothing else. There's nothing more I can do. This is going to be a video very in-depth about grandmama, my grandmama. I'm talking like y'all know her. But my grandmother's funeral. It's going to be in-depth about my dad's funeral, which I just went to yesterday. And yes, I lost 3 people on this side of the family. Whew. In 1 year. Oh, God, it's funny. But I've also been blessed in so many different ways. I cannot thank God enough. So, yeah, it's been hard. I've been trying to start back on YouTube and try to stay consistent, but every time I make a video and don't post it or make a video, something happens. Okay, y'all, what's up? I'm back with this video. I know at the beginning of this video, y'all seen me literally the day after my father's funeral, but let's just say shit got hard and a lot of shit was still happening that day, so it was like really just processing all these feelings that I had going on. So now it's literally the next day, and that would make it the 24th. Side note, I will be smoking a blunt. I do have my medical marijuana card, so I do not recommend that other kids or people smoke marijuana. You know, if you have a condition or whatever the case may be, you know, get your card, get your license, do what you gotta do. Even though this is not the same day that I started filming, I want to say this is still going to be raw and uncut because I woke up this morning and I felt like I needed to at least get this part out. And it's going to be in 2 different parts because of the simple fact, 1, I don't want to overwhelm myself with all the information I'm about to give y'all, and 2, I don't want to basically start talking about something and then lose my train of thought. So that's why I was like, let me just do it in 2 parts. Plus, talking about my grandmother's funeral is going to be very hard and it's still something that weighs on me. So I feel like getting the situation with my dad out first, then, you know, since it's still, you know, kind of still open, it's like I can go ahead and give y'all that raw, true feelings that I'm feeling at the moment. And once I close this chapter and say what I have to say, that's it. But like with grandmama, I'm still, that one's still fucking with me. So bear with me. I hope you guys like, subscribe, and, you know, let's get into story time. I literally just woke up like this, y'all. Like, for real. All I did was put some oil on my face because I ain't want to look a little dry. Like I said, a lot of shit has been going on. I've never dealt with death this close. So you gotta know, when you lose a parent, you like, okay, so how, like, where do I start from? You haven't even dealt with the emotions type shit. So I'll say, when did my daddy die? He died. Okay, I had to look on his obituary, honestly, because we just had his funeral, and on some real shit, I can't really, a lot of shit is kind of blank. I'm gonna keep it a book. So My daddy died December 12th. I want to say that was on a, it had to be on a Wednesday. What day that was? No, daddy died on Monday. The 12th was a Monday. Y'all make me. Because which day is the 24th? Matter of fact, let me look in the obituary. Just say what day he died. Oh, them lazy sons of bitches. Didn't even put the day that daddy died. Okay, whatever. Daddy died December 12th, 2022. And when I was first told the news, I'm going to just start it off like this. I'm going to, keep it a buck. My dad, me and him didn't have the best relationship. It's a lot of ways that he could have been a better father, especially coming up. It's a lot of situations that I am not going to talk about on this channel just because of the simple fact it's like I've healed from it, so it's not something for me to bring up. But also, my father is dead. He's not here to defend himself or, say what he has to say. Even if he does, even if he would, I just feel like I want to focus on the hurt that I went through dealing with his funeral. My father dies, and my cousin calls me and tells me, your daddy was rushed to the hospital. So I was like, for what? And it was like, I don't know. They was like, he passed out, and my brother went and found him, climbed through the window, had to break through the window to call an ambulance and stuff. So they called the ambulance and rushed my daddy to the hospital, to Our Lady of Lake Hospital. And mind you, I'm trying not to go out of order, but these are the details that I got after he died. So just keep that in mind. And probably not even 5 minutes later, because mind you, I'm on the phone with my mother. I'm like, Dad is in the hospital. He's in the ICU. So she said, oh my God, you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm like, he gonna be okay, because I'm like, I really can't go see him right now, because at this moment, I think I had the flu. Like, I was really just like recovering from like a sickness, and it really felt like I had the flu. Just the only thing was that I was at home, so I didn't have nothing really to, worry about spreading it or anything. But then once you hear like your father is in the hospital, you like, well, I mean, I can't go see him right now because I don't know what the sickness is. He passed out. I don't know if it was because of a sickness or, something that he already had. I didn't know. So I knew I planned on, coming to see him at the hospital, the next day. So I tell my cousin, I'm like, hey, call me back. Let me know when they give you a room number. So 5 minutes later, I kid you not, I'm on the phone with my mother. She tells me my father is dead. And the way it happened, okay. So mind you, like I said, keep in mind, we didn't have the best relationship, but I love my father regardless. And we were on good terms when he passed. So my reaction, disclaimer. When she got on the phone, it was like she was trying to breathe. So I'm like, hello? I'm like, you crying? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, what, he dead? And she was like, yeah. I was like, for real, he dead? And she was like, yeah. I said, girl, all right, thank you for telling me. So while they crying on the phone and shit on the other end, I hang up and I instantly go call my mama. So I call my mama and I tell him, like, daddy just died. So my mama's like, oh no, Stephanie. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, she was like, how you feeling? I'm like, I mean, I don't feel no type of way right now. Like, I mean, my fiance says I was in shock. Maybe I was, but I honestly had just talked to my dad and was telling him I was going to bring him some food and stuff. And I was cooking for Christmas, and I wasn't even doing a lot. I was just going to bring him the food that I usually cook. That I was going to cook for us. So, he could just have a home-cooked meal. Because, like, Daddy know I know how to throw down. I get it from my mama. So, So, like I said, my reaction is just based off of the relationship I've always had with my father. So, And she's like, call your brother Broderick. I'm like, yeah, you right. Because I was like, what if somebody already called him? She was like, you don't know that. She was like, just make sure he gets a call. So I called my brother. Me and my brother basically say the same shit. We both in shock. My brother was like, you have to understand, like, our father really didn't, honestly really didn't do shit for us. And I mean, on some real shit, it's like, it is what it is. We not holding no grudges, but it's like, you can't get mad at how we respond to how our father was, to us growing up. This is a saying that I really live by. Like, it's different knowing your parents as a kid and then you learning them as an adult. So at this point, like I said, my reaction was my reaction. My brother, he also felt it too, because he had just talked to my daddy like 2 days ago and just brought him a steak. So that's why I'm like, okay, like, I'm not tripping. Like, we hurt, but we just had a different reaction. Like, that's our first reaction, because it's like, we just talked to this man like a week ago, 2 days ago. So as time goes by, right? Not even hours, I call my cousin back and I'm like, do you know if anybody's gonna go by my grandmother's house, aka my daddy's house at this point? Because I mean, my grandmother's dead and he was the only brother still staying in that house. So technically it was my dad's house. So I asked my cousin, I call her back like a couple of hours. I'm like, I don't know how the process go, but I'm like, when are y'all gonna go down there? Like tonight or tomorrow? Like, can y'all call me, let me know? So she was like, yeah, we're gonna let you know. I'll give my mom your number and they'll call you, let you know, right? So, boom, talk to her about that. She tell me that bullshit, right? So something, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was my dad and my grandmother or Jeff. I don't know who the hell it was, but something in me, or my fiance, because my fiance was on it too. Yeah, probably my fiance, just as far as like to name a living person, and my mother. So, I kid you not, I'm like, fuck this shit. We going down there. I ain't waiting for them to tell me shit, like, cause they not gonna tell me shit. Like, they ain't tell me shit with grandmama shit. So, I mean, I go down there to my daddy's room. I get through the way that I get through, because the only reason why I'm not even gonna tell y'all the way I got through is because I'm gonna get to all that. Like I said, got to daddy's house, got his shit that I wanted, like anything that I fucking wanted, and I'm not going into detail about that as well. I feel like I got mainly his sweaters and his fucking hats, because that's what I wanted. I wanted sentimental stuff. I was looking for pictures, but I couldn't find any. So, and this is one of his sweaters, by the way. Fly as fuck. My daddy was a saucy nigga. Like, saucy ass dude. Like, you can't hold that against him. He was a saucy nigga. I got majority sentimental stuff, and it's still stuff that I really want to get. It's just I would have to clean out his room and stuff before I could actually see and find everything. Because from what my mom says, it's a lot of pictures of me and him and my mom together that he should have had in his room, but I didn't get a chance to look at it. Because while me and my fiance are in the middle of retrieving my father's belongings, my great aunt, her daughter, and another lady who is like a friend of the family, all three of them knock on the door. I answer the door. They're like, where your dad at? What's Stephen at? I'm like, he dead. And they like, oh Lord, oh my God, oh Lord, no, Stephanie now, oh Lord. So mind you, the lady walking back and forth, the family friend walking back and forth in disbelief, she's like, no, that's my brother, oh Lord. Who she is to me, my cousin, she up there saying, what happened to him? I'm like, they say he had a brain bleed. They was like, what? I'm like, they say he had a brain bleed, like a stroke maybe. They was like, oh my God, why you ain't tell us? I'm like, first of all, I don't have y'all number. I said, Al didn't even tell me. I said, don't Al have y'all number? They was like, nobody called us. We don't even know where to go to at the hospital. I'm like, I didn't even go to the hospital. Like, you know, everything happened so quickly. I'm like, Daddy literally died 2 hours ago. So that's when it was like, oh Lord, he's gone. I can't believe it. You look so good. You done lost so much weight. And then they went back to crying again. I'm like, and then my aunt, she was sitting up there looking at my grandmother's angel figurines behind her. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Trying to see what you gonna take now since my daddy dead? Cause you shouldn't be touching a damn thing. Yeah, she was just looking like she was getting annoyed with everybody, you know, having emotions and stuff. But I was just standing there like, I'm trying to get my daddy shit and go. And really, like, I'm not trying to explain shit to nobody. So mind you, y'all, I don't know why my phone fucking calls my cousin by accident. I guess because, like, she was one of the last people I talked to, right? So she ends up calling me back. I'm not answering. I'm like, I'm dealing with this right now. So they just like, oh, okay, we about to go now. Like, because I'm not explaining shit to y'all. Like, this is my dad's house. It should nothing has to be explained at this point because I'm like, he's dead. You know why I'm here. So when they left, that was it. They was just like, I'm sorry for what happened to you. You know, I love you, this, and that. That was it. Okay. Y'all understand that story. So after we get my daddy shit, right? They called me. The organ donor people were trying to see if I approve of donating his organs and stuff. And the lady was like, are you biologically his kid? And I was like, yes. I'm like, his name is on my birth certificate. Yeah. Al, he's the closest next of kin. And he was saying he was not sure if your father signed your birth certificate. And he didn't know if he had any biological kids. I said, ma'am, excuse me? I said, Uncle Al said that shit? And she was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to call the start or anything. I said, you're doing your job. I said, no, it's my people that's fucked up. Because I've literally, whether y'all want to admit it or not, whether if you want to throw slangs or not, I was literally at grandmama's house until I was a kid, from when I was a kid until I was fucking grown. The only time I was really not at grandmama's house was when I moved over here. And that's like 30 minutes away from my grandmother. Stop fucking playing with me. Ooh, I can go into some stories about how many times I didn't walk to grandmama's house and stayed at her house until I had to go to work on the streets next door, like a couple streets over. Like, stop playing with me, nigga. To where grandmama then paid for fucking taxis for me to get to work because she ain't like the fact that I was walking to work. Stop playing with me. To the time I was up in the fucking shed with my daddy taking a shot before I even... my daddy would have me a Parmesan ready for when I got off from work. Just so I could go to sleep. Yeah, that's the type of time I was on. Fuck it. Feel how you feel. I was grown. I was 21. The fuck? What's up? So... the fact that my Uncle Al is going to sit up here, and then I've spent time at their house before. I've been to their churches. I've been to y'all new church. So it's like, why would you deny me? And my brother was around before I even came around, but he's a whole different story. He can explain his own shit. I feel disrespected. So I'm like, let me go get my daddy shit. Y'all got me fucked up. If my father is my father. And two, y'all don't be hitting me up about shit. So it's crazy how y'all not going up there tonight. But, okay, cool. Y'all gave a fuck about my daddy, but cool. Like, his kid is not asking to go in her now deceased father's room. Once I get the shit, everything is done. Everything was said. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I was like, I told the hospital, do not release the body unless y'all call me first, because I feel like they're gonna try to do some shit without me even knowing. Because for him to even say that confused the fuck out of me. We get to the next day. I know y'all probably like, damn, bitch. Yes, we get to the next day, y'all. I'm texting my brother, you know, throughout the night. He texting me back. We checking up on each other because, you know, we talking about how we crying, like really just being vulnerable with each other because we don't have nobody else to be vulnerable. So my brother was trying to get my uncle's number so he could figure out, you know, what they was going to do with the body, how the process was going to go, all this other shit, right? I don't have my uncle's number. If I did, I think the last time I text him, he didn't text me back, and that's usually how it goes. Even if you call, he doesn't call back. I gave him my cousin's number because he was still trying to figure out shit. Mind you, side note, these people ain't even hit him up. Didn't even call him nothing. I'm giving him their number, telling them, hey, my brother Roger gonna hit you up. These people not answering. So my brother had to pull up in order to get answers, right? So that's the side note. Like I said, I ain't gonna get into his shit because that's his story. But I'm telling y'all as far as this part so you can get a picture of how they was basically fucking over me. I want y'all to understand how fucked up the situation is. My cousin, who is my father's niece, his brother's daughter, oldest, he's the oldest out of all of them. So they had their kids first. They're the oldest out of all of us. Went in my daddy's room through the fucking window and took his phone and called my motherfucking brother. First she called off of his phone, then called off of her phone, talking about she went in there to clean up. And he told her, oh, where you at? I'll come meet you. She said, oh, I'm about to go. Now, if you know my daddy, you ain't about to clean up that room in no fucking 20 minutes. My brother was like, it wasn't even 20, 30 minutes by the time she said she was leaving. And I'm like, she took daddy's phone? I'm like, that's really some crackhead shit. Because I'm like, who takes daddy's phone? And everybody, if you really fuck with my daddy, you know my daddy, he has a flip phone. Like, who's going to take that? It's 2022, bitch. Like, what kind of drugs are you on? I'm instantly pissed off, but I'm happy that I went in my father's room. Because I would have been so mad if I would have seen... Like, if I would have not been able to have any of the things that I did find that were valuable to me, I would have fucked her up at that funeral. Like, no cap. Like, God wouldn't have saved her. And grandmama really raised me to have respect for my elders. But guess what? She gone now. Like, in the disrespect, I'm not dealing with that shit. I'm not taking it off of none of my family members. You got me fucked up. Like, on you. I find that out first before my cousin even tried to check me about going to my grandmother's house. The next day, it's 2 o'clock in the evening. I don't get a text message from my aunt or uncle. You know, the people that's like actually still have the keys to grandmama's house other than my daddy. I get a call. I get a text message from my cousin. Their daughter. My close cousin, like my only cousin I would consider my favorite cousin. And it's like, oh, I know you didn't, it was like, I know you didn't go to G, I know you didn't go up in G. I'm gonna show y'all the text messages and the shit because I don't want nothing to get misconstrued. I don't want nothing to be like, oh, this is just one-sided. You're gonna see the text messages. So I'm basically summing it up for y'all. So whatever I miss, check it in the text messages. This bitch hits me up and asks me, oh, I know you wasn't in G house. I said, why are you asking me this? And she was like, cause my parents are hearing some weird stuff about you going to grandmama's house and you told them that my dad told you to lock it up. So I'm like, first thing, pause. These old nosy ass bitches, cause now you nosy ass bitches besides the lady, because I know this was family shit, was so mad that you could not figure out why I was in the house. It's none of your fucking business. Do y'all pay a fucking bill in that bitch? No. So for you to come over here, matter of fact, I didn't even have to answer the door, but I didn't have shit to hide. That's why I'm like, if anything, bitch, you should have asked me instead of just hooping and hollering and act like you gave a fuck. You feel me? Stop it. Like, that was the thing that pissed me off. Like, y'all really sat up here and just told these stories about how y'all brought my daddy food over here. Like we wasn't bringing him food. Like, my brother wasn't bringing him food. Like, stop playing with us. Like, we don't know this already. Like, girl. So I'm already pissed off about that. But I'm like, telling my cousin, look, I really don't want to get into it with you. Like, this has nothing to do with you. So if they want to talk to me about it, cool. I'll talk to your parents about it. But I'm like, anything else between me and you, our relationship is good. I don't want it to be affected because you overstepping your fucking boundaries with me. Because I'm sorry that you felt comfortable enough to think that you can check me about something dealing with, one, when you try to flip it, grandmama, and two, my daddy. I didn't see it going well, no way, especially when she kept pressing, right? So she also said that she always felt like we can talk like that, like we always, when have we never been able to talk to each other, all this other bullshit. So I'm like, I mean, you just made it like that. Like, now is that time, because I'm steady telling you, like, it's none of your fucking business. I didn't curse her out until I got to the part when I was like, I don't have to tell you shit. Because it was something about her asking me that shit again. Like I said, I'm going to show the messages so you can see. Once I said that, that's when she wrote like this long ass paragraph. And I wrote mine's back, and it was just basically telling her, like, you had me fucked up. You don't pay a bill at grandmama's house, and you questioning me. I said, it's not even coming off as no genuine shit. It's like you interrogate me about doing something wrong. Like, I'm retrieving my father's belongings, and y'all talking to me like I'm just this fucking stranger. Like I'm my cousin Chantel. And I had to tell her that shit because it's like, I claimed my daddy. I didn't want to, but guess what? It was times I didn't want to, but guess what? I did. I look just like him. I can't do nothing but help look like my fucking daddy. Like, nigga, that's what you gonna get. Like, I was around y'all. Like, came to your house. If it was so many questions, why was I around y'all? Like, that was the only thing. Like, my last name is Moore. His name is Stephen. My name is Stephanique. Stop playing with me, bitch. So that's why it was like, if this happened to your father, do you see me coming at y'all like, oh, I don't know if that's biologically his kid, or if my dad would have did some shit, y'all would have never forgave my dad for that shit. Like, never. So it's like, for her not to be able to see the disrespect and to see how she was coming at me, it's like, bruh, I don't know who teaching you what, but you on some fuck shit. I don't know who gave you the balls to even think you could check me about a house that you ain't paying not damn motherfucking bill at. And matter of fact, every time I'm like, oh, I want to go get grandmama shit. Oh, I can't go to the house. Oh, I'm hurt. This, and that. Yeah, I'm hurt too. But guess what? I want to go to my grandmother's house. Like, I don't want to have to ask you and then 2 weeks later or 2 months later still don't hear shit. Like, bro, that shit old. Like, you stay with your mama. Like, stop playing with me. It's so much shit that I started catching on to now that I didn't catch on to back then with grandmama shit. That's why I say I'm gonna break this shit up in 2 parts. I'm through with my cousin, like, texting her all this shit. I said what I had to say, and it is what it is. Me and her haven't text since, and I really honestly don't give a fuck because you had me fucked up. Her mom texted me. Now, mind you, let me explain this relationship with her. Because I don't like the fact that she tried to play this goody two-shoes role, and she's really a bitch. So, and she's a first lady of a church. Scam. Might have to roll up again. This lady, from my personal experience, and I'm going to keep it raw and honest, I had no problems with my aunt. She was just this formal person, like, you know, like you don't curse around, like, you know, if you got tattoos, you wouldn't show her, type shit like that. But just how my cousin mom talked to her, my mom talks to me too. And I peeped a lot of shit that your mom disliked my mother for. Like, bullshit. And it's like, for what? Like, a lot of shit. And it's like, like I said, I'm going to get more into detail when I talk about my grandmother's shit. But it's like, you being told shit, I'm being told shit. And it's like, I'm seeing it. Like, consideration, yeah, you might ask, just because you ask about somebody doesn't mean that's actually considering them. Actually making sure they're involved. Actually making sure that they find out in real time that the person is passing. You know, that's consideration. I don't want you to sit up here and make it seem like you thought about me. That was the only reason why I even got told certain things, because really and truly your daughter was the one who thought about me, unless she's lying too. You know what I'm saying? So I had that relationship with her even growing up. You know, it was just, you know, it was okay. It wasn't, I don't feel like it was on some real auntie shit, because it wasn't. Like, I've dealt with that shit. I don't know how to explain it. Like, a kid knows, and as an adult, you know. So it's like, yeah, okay. Yeah, you was cool, but you wasn't cool like that. My uncle, this nigga, oh my God. He is the biggest hypocrite I have ever. And I hate hypocrites. It's like your mother is a number one, probably angel, soldier for God. You feel me? Like, and this is how you represent her. My uncle is really like one of those people that will tell you that he has your back. You can call him for anything and will not answer, will not text back. Like, he's just one of those people. Like, I'll never forget, it was a time when I really wanted to sit down and talk with my uncle. And I think he texted me back, we can meet up on these dates, right? So I chose one of the dates, text him that day, never got a text back. Never got a text back. And it's like, it's fucked up, because you'll tell me, oh, don't be afraid to call, don't be afraid to come around. But it's like, you don't make it feel like it's okay for us to come around. Me or my brother, honestly. Because he wasn't around any of the times that I wasn't around. So, you know, that's why I'm like, okay. That's just giving y'all a backstory of the relationship I had with my people. Like I said, before then, these people was just like church-going people. My people was just cool to me. But now it's like, looking back, it's like, y'all never really fuck with me on some real shit. People that did, they gone now, so fuck y'all. She's like, she says my name, Stephanique. This is your aunt and your uncle. How did you get into that house? And who was that man you had with you? And something else, right? I said, oh, find time for y'all to text me back when y'all didn't even have nothing to say for my grandmother's funeral. I was like, but yes, I retrieved my last belongings, what I wanted, and I left. So she, and like I said, I'm gonna show the messages because I can't really remember what that bitch said, but it was a lot of insults next. What that bitch said?